Hey, it's your girl Nicole,
And I'm Janelle.
and this is 20
20
Minute
Minute
Local
Local
in
in
It,
It.
where we invite you to come tell us about your local business, nonprofits, or community involvement.
And today we have Felicia Smalls with Carolina Elite Real Estate. Hi, Felicia. How are you?
Hey guys, thank y'all for having
Hey,
me.
Thank you for coming. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, like you said, I'm Felicia Smalls. I'm the owner of Felicia Smalls Group with Carolina Elite Real Estate, and I've been doing this for 8.5 years. Born and raised right here in Charleston. I'm married with 4 children and my new puppy Bentley.
oh, what kind of puppy is it?
He's a Maltipoo and he's spoiled.
Oh,
I have him spoiled.
that's
Yeah.
so cute.
Yes, yes. He does no wrong. He goes to doggy daycare. He goes to boarding. Yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
Bentley, it sounds like Bentley is giving you a run for your money.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my family be laughing and talking because I didn't really want any
Yeah.
pets. But now Bentley is like,
Aw.
wherever I go, Bentley goes. I got a little carrier. People
Aw.
always think that's my baby, and then they say, oh, that's a puppy, yes. So, yeah.
So, Felicia, what compelled you to become a realtor?
Well, it actually started back in like the early 2000s when my 2 older kids were younger. I wanted to be a real estate agent, and the company I was looking at, they were only doing full-time agents. And at the time, I needed my health insurance for my kids, things like that. So then wasn't the right time. Then in 2012, I brought it up to my husband, and he was like, well, go ahead, go for it. He paid for the class, and I was working a full-time job still. I just didn't have any minors in the home. So I went for it, and I started doing it part-time.
Okay.
And then 2015, I left the company I was with, and now I'm full-time.
Wow.
That's
Congratulations.
exciting.
Yes,
So let me ask you, how do you find clients?
that's the thing. Usually word of mouth. That's the biggest thing for you. There are things out here that can help you, what they call lead generation, and send people to you. But the biggest thing is word of mouth. Your customer service always brings you clients. So I have people who refer clients and social media. Between those two, that's where I usually get 90, well, actually, that's 100% of my clients coming from.
Wow. And I can see that because of when you work with a real estate agent and they do a good job and then a friend or a family member
Yeah.
asks, usually if you know that, hey, I had this person that I work with and they did a really good job, then you want to refer them.
Yes, and that's it. Doing an excellent job for your clients will get you those referrals down the road from friends, family, coworkers, church, family, whomever.
Exactly.
So, what do you think the traits that you have, what traits do you possess, I should say, that makes you a great realtor?
Well, the number one trait you really need to have is customer service skills, because it is a customer oriented business, believe it or not. You have to know how to do time management. You have to be outgoing and interpersonal skills, because any time you're working with a client, on average, you're working with at least 5 to 6 additional people other than your client. So if you have multiple clients, you could be working with sometimes, 12, 18 different people for one, 1, 2, 3, 4 deals, how many ever deals you have.
Okay.
So you have to be able to balance all of that, and, make sure everything is taken care of for your clients.
Wow.
That's interesting.
That is good.
I didn't
And
think
so,
about it that way.
yeah.
Yeah, because every client has, there's different aspects of the deal. So if you're doing buyers, you working with the seller, you're going to be working with attorneys, you're going to be working with inspectors, lenders, appraisers, and then the client themselves.
Wow. That's a lot that goes into it.
Yes, most people just see the nice, oh, they closed, and we
Right.
putting up the pretty pictures.
Right.
The behind the scenes.
A lot of
Ooh.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's good because that shows that you can multitask.
Oh yeah,
and-
definitely. You have to be able to do more than one thing.
Right. And I know another important thing, which would be important to me, and I'm sure as a realtor, like you said, you work with many clients, and especially with the referrals, is trustworthy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're doing this, you're really getting to know the people, and you know a lot about, and you have to trust that. Hey, you're looking out for their best interest. You're protecting their information.
Right. And that's one of my biggest things. I do not talk about any clients who I'm working with. I just say if I'm talking about a client is, oh, my client this, my client that. Never call name,
Right.
never put out any information. I even go as far as telling my clients,
Mm-hmm.
keep it close to your vest, because in real estate, anything can happen, whether it's your fault
Mm-hmm.
or someone, and excuse me, it could not be your fault.
Right.
But when you start telling a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and some people aren't looking out, being happy for you like they should,
Mm-hmm.
it could be no fault of your own, especially if you're
Right.
building a home. The weather could delay it. Well, you said you're supposed to close today and you can't close until next month. That had nothing to do with you, and that can get stressful at times. So to alleviate the stress, keep it close, wait till we got those keys, and then you can blast it out to whomever you want.
That's good. So tell us. So, what do you consider the most important aspect of house hunting?
Right now in the market we in, be able to make a decision on the spot, because the market is a seller's market, and we have low inventory, so you don't have time to sleep on it. So if you see a house, I guarantee you 5 or 6 other people probably gonna put in offers on that same house, so you have to be ready to make a decision right now. The other thing is, just know that if this is your first home, you're not gonna get your entire wish list. We're going to narrow it down to the top 3 most important things. That's how I work with my clients. I have you give me your must-have and your negotiables, your non-negotiables and your negotiables, and we try to put it together. And I try to find as much on your list as possible, but for the most part, just know this is your first home.
Right.
This is an investment, and this is a stepping stone.
Okay, because that was my next question. How is the market? And I know right now you say there's a seller's market, right? So explain the market and how that works.
Well, so usually we say it's either a seller's market or a buyer's market. A seller's market basically is there aren't as many sellers as there aren't as many sellers as there are buyers. So therefore, the sellers have the upper hand because they're normally getting multiple offers on their home.
Okay.
So that gives them leverage to say, no, I don't want to deal with this offer, or no. So if you get 5 offers in one house, as an agent, I'm going to advise you what's the best one to go for you, that's going to close quicker and net you the profit, because at the end of the day, they're usually selling their home for a profit. And with a buyer's market, that's when there's more sellers than buyers. So buyers have the upper hand, and they can come in and pretty much get what they want without giving away the farm from the seller. So
Okay. Cool.
So, is real estate easy or hard in your opinion?
it could be easy today, hard tomorrow. Every day is different. Every client is different. For the most part, I'll say real estate is challenging. I don't want to say easy or hard, because no 2 clients are the same. No
Right.
2 deals are going to be the same.
Okay.
But you have to have thick skin to work in this business,
Whoa.
and you need to know that this is a commission-only business. So if you're not the type,
Understandable.
Yeah.
so if you're not the type of working and waiting on a paycheck, this may not be for you. If you're not the type that can be patient and work through problems, because there are going to be problems around, you're a quick thinker, it may not be. You may think it's hard. And then once again, it goes back to having that interpersonal skills. If you're more of a homebody and you don't like to be on social media and you don't like talking to people, it can be difficult from what you're seeing. And you really can't do it part-time, because so I'm going to put a question to you all.
Okay.
So if you're buying a home and you have 2 realtors going out, this realtor does it part-time, this one does it full-time, who are you going with?
Probably the full-time one.
The full-time.
You want the person who's going to be able to focus more and have the most time to work on with.
Right. And some people see that. Like I said, when I started out, I was part-time, but none of my clients knew that, because I was able to do the job I was on. I worked 6 to 2:30. So most people are still working 9 to 5 or whatever. So I'm
Right.
still off to handle
Right.
whatever I needed for my clients, take them on showings, things like that. And that's another thing. You have to be able to work around your client's schedule. They don't
Right.
work around yours, you work around theirs. So if you're at work and they want to see a house in this market, you have to be available to
Right.
show when they need to see it.
And at any time, the market can flip, right?
At any time. But as of right now, it's a seller's market. So if anybody y'all know who's wanting to sell a home, let me know.
And with that being said, how do you typically spend your week?
Every day is different. I usually try to have one day as admin day for paperwork, things like that, on the phone calls. So let's say I usually start, the first thing I do in the morning when I wake up after I do my morning routine is I check my emails and my text messages.
Okay.
And then I prioritize what is high priority and what needs to be done first based on what deals I have pending, where we're at in the deal.
Okay.
Then after that, it could be phone calls, emails, and texts. That comes all day. Showings, and back to putting in offers and negotiating deals. So the day is not really, most people try to say, yeah, we have a day, but it's just based on how many showings I have that day.
Okay.
How many offers I need to put in, and what other things I have going on behind the scenes.
So let me ask you this, because I know that usually, like just riding around on weekends, I see that there are more open houses and more showings. So how would you spend an ideal weekend?
Well, my clients, I usually set up the showings. Once again, I'm working on their schedule. So anytime I'm doing a client intake or consultation, once they sign the agreement that they're going to work with me exclusively, I like to get their schedule. I need to know your schedule. If your schedule fluctuates week to week, then I need to know, because I'm taking you out either on your off day, after work, on the weekends, just depending on how your schedule permits.
Okay.
Based on that, I'm not sending you any houses that potentially we're going to look at until anywhere about 24 to 48 hours, just because the way the market's set up. Because I can set up something at 6 a.m. that morning to go out and look at, and by 10 a.m. if we're going to look at it, it can be under contract. That's how bad.
Wow.
So if you work 9 to 5, I try not to send you houses until about 12 noon that day, if we're going out that day, just because of the market and the competition that you're up against.
Wow. So the market sounds really crazy.
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
really
literally
tight.
we're literally around here begging for people to sell their houses,
Yes.
because you have the buyers, but you don't have the inventory to support the
Right.
buyers.
And this is true, because I've been getting phone calls, and a guy actually knocked on the door the other day and said, hey, are you guys willing to sell your home? I have
Wow.
a buyer who's interested. Are y'all willing to sell? And I'm
And what
like,
did you say?
no. And I have a sister.
And I have heard that about the market right now. I've heard them saying, if you a potential buyer, then you want to come in with a competitive offer nowadays.
Well, competitive offer right now is full price or over full price, and have all your closing cost money. That's competitive.
Yep. I
So
heard
it's,
it.
it's really,
I've heard
really,
that's
there's
where
not a
it's at,
whole lot
too.
of, negotiating room. If you really want this house, I'm telling buyers, I can send you the comps, and I do that. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, okay, it's going to be multiple offers, especially depending on your price point. If you're under about $275,000 looking for a home, you're going to have multiple offers, anywhere from 3 offers and above on the house. So you have to be competitive, and the way to be competitive, you have to come in over asking most of the time, and not requesting that the seller assist you in any concessions such as closing costs. Those are the 2 main things. And the type of loan you have, but you usually can't control that part.
And this is true, because I've seen the last 4 houses in our neighborhood has been gone within 30 days. Like,
Probably less than
Less
that. They
than
probably
that.
put them in the market. If it's priced right, it probably was going within that 5-day period.
Yep, a few
if
days.
that.
That sign is up
30
and
days is
down.
usually just from start to finish, and they close and move out. It probably put in an offer, probably went under contract, usually anywhere from the 1st to the 5th day is already under contract.
whoa. I
And
didn't
especially the
realize
school
that.
district you're into, that's another driving force.
Okay.
Wow, that's good information to know. And then especially, I know I see a lot of new neighborhoods being built.
Yes.
How is that in the real estate market?
Well, that's building. So usually if you're getting into a new neighborhood that's being built, don't expect to get into your house till about 9 months later.
Okay.
So, and that's from, because when they're building, and let's say we have a new neighborhood that's coming, and they already have some homes. You still have to go through the permitting process once again, depending on the county, that takes anywhere from 2 to 4 months. So that's 4 months out of your build time. And then once you get into the out of the permitting process and they start the building, then you can have weather hiccups, any number of things.
Okay.
But building it usually is about 9 months, or it
Wow.
could be longer, just depending on how big your home is and other aspects.
Okay. So let me
Yeah,
ask you
that'll-
this. So when you see these new neighborhoods coming up and the homes are still currently being built, are they able to still go ahead and purchase a home that's still being built?
Oh yeah, yeah. You're putting a home under contract. You're going through the design center to pick out your colors. Designing it from the ground up is just a longer process. So, depending on my client, based on what their needs are, if they can wait the 9 months,
Yes.
then yes. And you can find some homes like might have fell out of contract. Someone else had a contract. Something happened. They can't get it. It's already be done in the next 30 days. You can find homes that are in new neighborhoods that they call inventory homes. They build these homes with nobody who have a contract on them, but they're building so people like us can come out. But those usually don't last long either.
Oh,
So once
wow.
again, it's usually about a 9 month wait.
Okay.
Right, because there are people looking for a home. So if you could go in and the inventory home would be ready in 30 days, and your situation dictates you need to be out where you're at in 30 days, then that's going to work for you.
Okay.
So what would your ideal way to spend the weekend be?
Ideal weekend. Well, I don't have any showings this weekend. We'll start with that. I got everybody under contract, and then get up if Saturday morning, do a little housework, play with my puppy, little Bentley, go to brunch, and then just hang out with my friends and family. Sunday, online church, brunch. As you can see, I can say brunch twice because I like to eat. And then just relax. Sunday, get ready for the work week. Or I might be out of town, something, because I like to travel. So.
Oh, I hear that. All right. And so is there anything that a future client should already be working on before they contact you?
Well, yes. You always want to have your credit immaculate or close to immaculate as possible. So don't be acquiring any new debt. You want to get pre-approved. That would be ideal before you come to us, so you'll know how much money you have to spend. That's you don't have to, but we do ask that you do because that just remove along one step. And working on just saving your money, and just protecting your credit, staying on your job, and just be open-minded and ready to go. So
I hear that.
if you have those things, but if you're starting out and you're not sure, there's things you can contact me and I can tell you the steps you need to take to get there.
Okay. That sounds good. So basically, no running out, opening up a whole bunch of new credit cards. And all
No,
that before you try to buy
no.
the house.
Actually, you should be reducing your debt. If you have not closing any credit cards, but your debt should be at least less 30% of your pre-tax income.
On each credit card.
On credit card, but your total debt, because
Total
they
debt,
look at your car note, they look at your credit card debt, student loans, which is a biggie for a lot of us. What else? Any other installment loans you have, things like that. So as much as you can pay off, definitely pay it off. But if you have credit cards, don't close them.
Okay.
Like Janelle said, you definitely want to have those credit cards under 30%. The lower the debt is, the better. So.
Okay.
So, is it more of a challenge to have somebody who is, let's say, I have a mortgage, but I want to sell my home and I want to move into a new home. So is that more of a challenge for you, or?
No,
Okay.
as long as you know that, depending on where you're at, because most places they have a contingency to sell.
Okay.
So if you want to sell your home, we need to have your home under contract before you start looking for your new home.
Okay.
That's the biggest challenge, because if you're not buying another pre-existing home that's already standing, you may be out of a house for 9 months while you're waiting for it to be built.
Okay.
So no one's going to say yes to your contract if you're waiting to sell.
Well, I'm really glad that you could come and sit and talk with us. You sound really knowledgeable, and I think we learned a lot here. And I'm sure
know, this is a
everybody watching has learned a lot of useful information and would love to work with you.
Well, if they can always reach out to me. You could go to www.feliciasmallsgroup.com. That's and you can click on it and you can set up appointments, get on my calendar right from there, or you can always call me at 843-460-8009.
And if you would like to be a guest on 20-Minute Local In It, just send us a message on one of our social media accounts, or you can always email us at NicoleRoseProductions@gmail.com and put in the subject line 20-Minute Local In It.
Thank you for spending 20 minutes with us. Until next time, be safe, be your best, and stay blessed.